Hello there, Year 8. Today we are going to continue our geography studies. You need your textbook and your workbook. And the next topic is the largest country in the world with more than 17 million square kilometers, and the population is well over 140 million people. This country is Russia. So let's start with the flag of the country. And you can see here the borders from Finland to China, lots of countries, and really many time zones as the biggest country in the world, stretching across 2 continents. In 1991, the USSR, the Soviet Union, split up into 15 republics, which set up their own governments. The Ural Mountains form the boundary between Europe and Asia, so it's partly Asian, partly European, but most of the population, 2/3 of the entire Russian population, live in the European segment of the country. The greater part of the population is Russian, but there are really many ethnic groups, and most people live in the big cities of Moscow, the capital city, and St. Petersburg, another big city. And really many people along the longest river in Europe, the Volga. To the east of the Ural Mountains lies the vast expanse of land, Asian Russia, which is known as Siberia, really sparsely populated because of the harsh weather conditions, but there are really many natural resources there, like precious stones and diamonds, gold as well. Let's see the special physical map of Russia. The East European plain, which you can see here, symbolized by green, occupies most of European Russia, where low uplands alternate with the lowlands. The Western Siberian plain, this one, is the next one, the world's largest, extends east from the Urals to the Yenisei River. It contains the world's largest swamps and floodplains. Lying further to the east between the Yenisei and Lena rivers, there is the Central Siberian Plateau. You can find it here. And the mountainous relief dominates it in the east and south. Along the far east Pacific coast, you can see that spot here. The Kamchatka Mountains represents the belt of the young Pacific mountain range system. There are plenty of volcanoes in the region. The tallest is the Luchevskaya Sopka, which means smoking pipe, really active volcano here. Situated in the southern European part are the Caucasus Mountains, so we need to go back to the other part here, and you can see the tallest peak, the Elbrus there. It's a young folded mountain range. The Elbrus is 5,642 meters high. In the southern part of Siberia are the Altai Mountains. And the highest point there is more than 4,000 meters. So the climate is the next section we have to mention here. On this map is important because you can see more easily the Altai Mountains here, Central Siberian Plateau, then the mountain ranges in the far east, Ural Mountains, and the longest river, Volga, is there as well. So, swamps in Siberia, the Elbrus peak, and Luchevskaya Sopka, the biggest volcano there. And the Ural Mountains are rather picturesque here. So climate, you can see the special map concerning the climate. The greater part of Russia lies within the temperate zone. The northern regions, such as the islands of the Arctic Ocean and the part of the continent, lie in the polar Arctic and tundra climate, so right here in the north, Novaya Zemlya Island, for instance. Siberia and a great part of the East European plain is part of the subarctic taiga climate, and there are lots of coniferous forests and beech trees in the region. The East European plain is mostly in the temperate continental zone, so there are huge treeless grassy plains, steppes, and black soil, which is very good for agriculture. The name black soil refers to the fact that the soil is full of nutrients and the color is really dark. The name black soil is used in English, but we also use the Russian name for this particular soil. It's called Chernoziom. So that's the black soil of Russia. Siberia and the Far East have several continental zones, and the conditions are rather harsh here. For instance, if you go into this part of the country, which I'm showing right now, really severe harsh winters, temperature can be easily minus 30, 40, even 50 degrees. In Oymyakon, they measured temperature which was lower than minus 70 degrees Celsius. Even in spring, it can be easily minus 10, 15 degrees at night, but summers are hot. Lots of mosquitoes are typical everywhere. The southern part of the Far East has a temperate monsoon climate, and the narrow Mediterranean climate region provides a home to Russia's most popular resort area near the Black Sea. So actually this zone here near the Crimean. So Mediterranean climate can be found there as well. The largest amount of precipitation falls on the mountain climate of the Caucasus, Altai and Ural mountains, so in this region. Rivers and lakes, really water-rich country. Thousands of rivers in the country, but we need to know about the most typical ones. The big rivers of Siberia are the Ob, for instance, and Yenisei here, Indigirka going to the north, Anadyr, Kolyma. The big river of the Pacific zone is River Amur, and Lake Baikal is the deepest lake on Earth, the biggest freshwater content in the whole world, and the longest river of Europe is River Volga, but other big rivers are Dnieper and Don. So the banks of the Kama, which flows west from the Urals and joins the Volga, are densely populated. So rivers are important from this point of view. They attracted larger population. The rivers Dnieper and Don cross the area of the East European plain and they flow into the Black Sea. The three giant rivers of the Ob, Yenisei, which I mentioned a bit earlier, plus Lena of Siberia, flow northward to the Arctic Ocean. The source areas of these rivers thaw before the downstream areas do, creating vast swamps because water floods places because there's quite a lot of ice in the north, so water leaves the river beds. This is why they are really mosquito infested areas. I mentioned, I think, all the important rivers. Maybe some of the big lakes here in the northwest should be mentioned. Lake Ladoga and Onega. Lake Baikal, which is right here in the Taiga region, is the deepest of all. Actually, it reaches 1,642 meters. And this way, it's the biggest freshwater resource on our planet. It holds 85% of the freshwater resources of the big country. The Caspian Sea has characteristics common to both seas and lakes, so we should concentrate on it here. It has a really salty inlet or gulf, the Carabocas part, so you can't really swim in that because the salt content is too big. And I'm back here. Please read the text on page 64 and 65. You can underline all the geographical names as usual. And after that, you can start working in your workbook. Please use your atlas as well. And please concentrate on the following tasks. Page 72, task 1, 2, and 3. Then you could continue on page 73, task 4, 5, 6. So this is about the geographical landscapes of the area, rivers, lakes, climates of Russia. And we are going to discuss some more details in our next lesson. Until then, keep up good work. Bye bye.